Because there was this imbalance and it was very one-sided. It seems like everybody was like, how did this guy get this type of woman? He got the most beautiful of the women, like hands down. The women that he chose were extremely beautiful, like that were desirable to any man that looks at him, right? If you think about it, Cassie, Kim, even Misa, and all these other women that maybe we don't necessarily know about, but his main women, you say he only had a couple main, but he was doing a lot of deviant stuff in his private life. So, because he had the wealth, because he had the power, and because he had the fame, he could deliberately choose people who had trauma themselves. And this is where I hate to say it, is that traumatic events lead to more small or big traumatic events until there is healing. And the reason why that happens is because those things that were causing you trauma before feel very familiar to you. They feel like home. They're very warm, even though in the inside they're causing you a lot of pain. And why do they feel at home? Why do they feel warm? Because that's the environment that you were nurtured and that's the environment that you grew up in. So until you start seeing that as wrong, you're not going to be able to get out of that negative traumatic loop. Key point there. So not only when people call Diddy he said he was a spirit swapper. There's a word that people use where he was a destiny swapper, right? Let's take that for instance. He got around people who were extremely different from who he was. Like it's like from A to Z on the bandwidth. He was seen as someone who did not really have talent, but he had a lot of drive. He was seen as someone who was not really good at really what they did and just used stuff to manipulate, but yet he still always remained on top. He was seen as someone who had extreme deviant behavior and always, even if he got in trouble, he got around it. Even at this last court case, he still did not get all the charges that I feel that he should have gotten. He still was able to get away with a lot. And that's what continuously feeds the cycle and has him not heal. So, depending on like where he's coming from and how he uses his tactic, I think one person described him as a cat, where he takes his time to like go in there, and he's almost like a snake. And he watches you, and in his mind he's strategizing, which is what someone who is considered a predator does. They will observe you and watch you and figure out ways to get you under their grasp where there's no way out. That is the imbalance.